The shocking story behind the banning of the Geneva Bible. Imagine living in a time when owning a Bible was illegal. Now, picture holding in your hands a translation that not only defied the established religious authorities, but also contained explosive notes that could get you arrested. That's the story of the Geneva Bible, one of the most controversial and banned Bibles in history. In this video, we're going to uncover why the Geneva Bible was so dangerous, who was behind its creation, and how it shaped the future of Christianity. But trust me, you'll be surprised by how it all unfolded. The birth of the Geneva Bible. Let's set the stage. It's the mid-1500s, and England is in turmoil. Queen Mary I, also known as Bloody Mary because of her brutal persecution of Protestants, has just died. This marks the end of Catholic rule in England, and Protestantism begins to rise again. But this isn't just about kings and queens. It's about a Bible, a revolutionary translation that would shake the very foundations of religious authority. In 1560, a group of English Protestant exiles in Geneva, Switzerland, produced the Geneva Bible. These reformers had fled England to escape religious persecution under the Catholic Queen Mary. In Geneva, they found sanctuary under the Protestant-friendly government, but they also found something else: a burning desire to make the Bible accessible to everyone. At that time, the Bible was still largely in Latin, and only clergy could interpret it. These exiles, however, wanted the Bible to be available in English, so that the common people could read it for themselves. What made the Geneva Bible special was its translation. It wasn't just any English Bible. It was the first to translate the Bible directly from Hebrew and Greek texts, rather than from the Latin Vulgate. This was a huge deal because it meant the translators were working from the original sources, rather than a version that had already been shaped by the Church's interpretations. The translators also included important footnotes and commentary, which is where the real controversy began. Explosive marginal notes. Now, here's where things get interesting. The Geneva Bible wasn't just a translation. It came with something that made it dangerous: marginal notes. These weren't just simple footnotes or study aids. These notes were radical, and they were a direct challenge to both the Catholic Church and the monarchy. For example, in the Book of Esther, the Geneva Bible included a note saying that the people of Israel had the right to overthrow tyrants. This wasn't just a religious interpretation. It was a political statement. The notes also encouraged resistance to tyrannical rulers, directly challenging the idea of the divine right of kings. In a time when monarchs claimed they were God's appointed rulers, this was a direct assault on their authority. The notes were meant to guide readers, encouraging them to see the Bible not just as a religious document, but as a weapon of social change. In fact, these notes were so bold that they made the Catholic Church and the English monarchy nervous. King James I, who took the throne in 1603, was particularly upset. He believed that these notes would encourage rebellion and challenge royal authority, and he saw them as a threat to his rule. He wasn't wrong. After all, the Geneva Bible's marginal notes had already been used by Puritans and other reformers to justify political uprisings. King James's response. The King James Bible. So, what did King James do? In 1604, he convened the Hampton Court Conference, where he gathered Anglican bishops to discuss the need for a new Bible translation. The result? The King James Version, KJV, which was published in 1611. But here's the thing. The KJV was, in part, created as a direct response to the Geneva Bible. The King James Bible, which became the most widely used Bible in the English-speaking world, was deliberately designed to have no marginal notes, no commentary that could challenge royal authority or stir up rebellion. King James knew that if the Geneva Bible continued to spread, it could undermine his control over the throne. So, in a sense, the creation of the KJV was a strategic political move. The KJV's translation, while a magnificent achievement in its own right, was carefully crafted to be neutral, avoiding the controversial notes that had made the Geneva Bible so dangerous. Why the Geneva Bible was banned. But let's go back to the Geneva Bible's ban. By the time King James came to power, the Geneva Bible had become the Bible of choice for many English Protestants, including Puritans. Its popularity was widespread, so widespread, in fact, that King James and the Church of England couldn't ignore it. They realized that if the Geneva Bible continued to be used, it could completely undermine the Church's authority and the monarchy's control over religious matters. The Geneva Bible was officially banned in England in favor of the King James Version. King James made sure that the KJV replaced the Geneva Bible in churches and homes. For many years, the Geneva Bible was relegated to the shelves of dissidents and exiles. But this wasn't just about the Bible itself. It was about control. The notes in the Geneva Bible promoted the idea that people had the right to challenge the government and resist unjust rulers. This was a powerful idea, and it made the Geneva Bible a tool for political revolution. Legacy of the Geneva Bible. Even though the Geneva Bible was banned in favor of the King James Version, its legacy didn't disappear. In fact, the Geneva Bible had a profound impact on the English-speaking world. Its influence can be seen in the language of the King James Bible, and it was the Bible used by many of the early settlers in America. The Puritans, who crossed the Atlantic to establish their own colonies, brought the Geneva Bible with them. It was their Bible of choice, and they used it to guide their fledgling society. While the Geneva Bible was officially banned in England, it lived on in the hearts and minds of those who believed in its radical message. Its call for the right to resist tyrants and its challenge to royal authority had lasting implications for the political landscape of both England and the American colonies.